it with music, beautiful music. Hello, I'm Fred Miller, and this is yet another lecture in song. And before we go into the wild and woolly and wonderful world of the Jazz Age, the 1920s, a little bit about me. Born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, had a wonderful classical piano teacher. Loved the classics, loved Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, and grand opera and all. And then, right on my 13th birthday, the day I turned into a teenager, the Beatles arrived, and I was drawn into the world of the great rock music of the 60s, and that would go on through high school to the till the summer after I graduated from high school. A friend whose parents took the New York Times out there in New Mexico showed me this poster of this big rock festival taking place in upstate New York. And we looked at that lineup and we thought, oh, we've got to go. And we went. Most of the way we hitchhiked from New Mexico to the Woodstock Festival. Even managed to show up in the poster. We were only 50 feet away the whole time, and that was quite the adventure. But I really that was it for rock music. That was the peak of the rock age, as really history is borne out. I wanted to be a musician. I knew that, but I didn't know what. Not a rock musician, maybe a folk musician. Well, I didn't know. Whatever. I went to college for about 5 minutes, and then ended up touring around the country in my VW Bug, and finally ended up in Greenwich Village. And at some point, somebody gave me an album of Ella Fitzgerald singing Cole Porter. There was my music. There is my music. The world of Gershwin, Porter, Kern, Rogers, Berlin, Fred Astaire, Judy Garland, Ethel Merman, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, what they call now the Great American Songbook. Initially, I came up with this idea of a lecture and song, each one being a profile of a great personality or some aspect of American music. I was going to I'll do songwriters and performers. And I thought, I'll be lucky if I get 10, 12 programs out of this. Well, over time, the categories expanded to 7 different categories. And now to date, I have 75 different lectures in song, each one described in detail at fredmillermusic.com. This one is under songwriters, and it's one of 2 programs that I call Jazz Age Kings, really saluting these songwriters who gave us the soundtrack for this uniquely fabulous time called the Roaring Twenties, the Jazz Age. It came on, the sort of the heels of all this. The Jazz Age came right after World War I. What a rude awakening that was, after the sort of prim and proper and kind of orderly times of Victorian and Edwardian times. It was the dawn of modern life, really. I mean, what we know is the modern world. It was a prosperous, heedless, suddenly liberated sort of time. I mean, women were smoking in public and wearing makeup, and the skirts were short, and the restrictions were loosening on everything except liquor, of course, with prohibition. But then breaking the law and drinking liquor and the hooch made it all the more exciting, I'm sure. You could not keep them down on the farm now that they'd seen Paris. That was all of us, really. And it was the phenomenon of radio, of course, made everything audible to the whole world. Live it up. We all die tomorrow. That was the attitude, I guess. And then this booming stock market made it all seem like just too good to be true. Well, eventually it would prove to be too good to be true, but for the time being, it was fabulous. I mean, to the point here, everyone was singing these songs, and we're really looking at 2 songwriting entities. One, a great team, De Silva, Brown, and Henderson, and Vincent Youmans here. Good news, you're bound to do me good. You come right here to me. Good news, good news. You're what I've waited for. I was slated for blues. Well, De Silva, Brown, and Henderson first here. It's a partnership that began